What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 2M in Sweden. I'm one of your hosts of the show, Hayes at AO Shifty, with the one, the only Penn State fan himself, Steven at Steven_Springs. Steven, how you been? How's life going? What's the new thing around town?
We should have just started doing this 3 or 4 minutes ago when we started talking about this. I do not want to repeat everything I just told Christian about life. That was really bad on our part. However, it is game week for Penn State football, and
Mm-hmm.
week one of college football season is finally here. It's the longest off. Well, it felt like the longest off season ever for Penn State. Um, but yeah, I'm pumped. There's a lot of good, great games this weekend, which is dope as well. We're in Texas next weekend. We're in Austin
Yep.
next weekend. So yeah, I talked about life, but it's more so now that football season is finally here
Mm-hmm.
officially.
Yeah. So I brought that up because usually me and Steven will probably catch up every other day or at least some point. But this time period, because of how life is, work is, traveling, different things, it wasn't as much. So even before we start the show, we always end up talking for a second. But this second turned
Yeah.
into minutes, which was different. So that's the first. And the other part is we got to get into your Penn State gear. Talk about the quick slants, how that's been the last episode with the rankings and everything, and then also looking forward to this week.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, it's week one. We got Nevada on Saturday, 3:30 on CBS. So we get like the
Mhm.
nice prime time middle of the day slot after the Ohio State Texas game. So that's dope.
Solid. Yeah.
Number two team in the country, all that jazz. It could be a little bit extra behind it if Texas loses to Ohio State. Penn State could easily slide up to
Yeah.
number one. We'll see, but got to worry about Nevada first. Quick slants will be on Thursday night, as per usual. Once the season starts, maybe Thursday during the day, depending on how things go. But um, yeah, just gonna do a quick preview of Nevada, give a little breakdown, chop it up a little bit. The vibes are high right now in State College, as they should be.
Hmm.
So just super, super pumped that um like this is a very important season for Penn State football, like very important. Like
Yeah.
national title or bust
Or
type of
bust.
season. So, this it's a little extra juice around the program these days, which is great. Love to see it.
Hmm.
Where I mean, we could not be in this position. Like I honestly no offense to ODU. It's a great school, very respectable school in the United States.
How did this shade happen?
Yeah.
Minding my
Yo,
business.
getting strays, not even saying anything, just getting straight over
Yo,
here. My fault. That's not what I meant.
I was I was pulling up week 0, and then this happens.
um, no offense. ODU football is no slouch right now with Ronnie.
Mhm.
But I couldn't imagine going to school that like my football team was not top tier.
Yeah.
I just could not imagine. I mean, I know I've grown up with it, but like
Hmm.
Maryland football and basketball, I get it. Certain parts, Duke, places like that. Basketball is king, but it's just not the same. Um, it's just not the same as having an elite college football team. Like your school, the town, like the NFL is different. It's a bunch of transplanted people in most of those fan bases,
Hmm.
but you have your true fans, obviously, but it's different college football. Like it could be worse. Like I complain a lot about Penn State football and not winning national title, but like, we've had I think we've had 34 wins in the last 3 seasons, most ever by Penn State team in a 3-year stretch.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
like we're like I'm very obviously love people jumping on the bandwagon like yourself, my
Yep.
brother-in-law BJ, some of the boys down here only follow Penn State football because of me. Um, so yeah, it's dope. Very awesome that my team is number 2 in the country, and I
Yep.
think about that a lot. Um, it's pretty fun. I'm sure it's like, when the Eagles are doing their thing last season, and it's like,
Yeah. The
yeah,
whole time.
my team is like the best team in the league.
But it's crazy. I wanted to ask you about that because I think about it all the time. When people claim or feel an attachment to an NFL team, it's extremely different than a college
Yeah,
football team,
for
especially
sure.
when you've gone there. Because I remember the first time I went to a game with you, and I wouldn't say overwhelming, but it was close to that when we had so much pride and appreciation for ODU. And that was on a smaller scale. We had maybe 2 players that we just stuck to. And at the time, a lot of people remember Taylor Heineke was the main one of, you followed his whole journey. And then the other one for me, because I had friends that knew him, so I got to end up talking to him a lot, was Rick Lovato as well. Those are like the 2 main ones. He's a long snapper for the Eagles, guys.
Shout out.
Those are shout out. Those are the main 2 that we would follow, and our tailgates were not nearly as lit up as you all's. Your one section, probably where the RVs are.
Yeah.
That was our whole, like, everywhere combined was just the RVs. And that type of thing of Steven saying, "Oh, we're about to go walking." And I'm thinking, how far are we walking? And it would be for a minute. Yeah. None of that was at ours. You could park anywhere and everywhere and you'd be straight. You could take the bus and you'd be fine. You could come from downtown and you'd be good. It's not nearly anything compared to what Steven said. And bringing that up because he threw the straight. So I'll tell you how much we're about to lose our first week. So first game of the season, ODU plays Indiana in Bloomington.
Oof.
Ouch. The spread is minus 24.
That is not that bad, actually.
I know.
That is not that bad. Indiana, you never know what you're going to get. To be a 24-point underdog on the road in Bloomington against Indiana team that was really good last year. Let's go. What's ODU's? What's their mascot?
Monarchs, essentially a lion.
Monarchs. Let's get it.
Yeah. So that's one thing.
ODU for life, bro.
Exactly. So other part with that is over under is 54.5 points, which they're clearly saying that ODU won't get shut out potentially, or Indiana might just score 55 points on their own. That's the first thing. The other part is going into the games that happened over the weekend. Iowa State did end up beating Kansas State by 3 points, 24-21. That's the only real main one of note. Of course, Stanford played Hawaii and Stanford lost. The other one I will probably just keep bringing up because of the amount of money that was donated to their school. Kansas did win 31-7, but a lot of these games were expected to end up having the outcome that they had. A lot of the ones in the beginning, some of them is you paid a good amount of money to that school to come play you, essentially for them to lose, and then you both get something out of it. The games that are coming up, and I know Steven will talk about it as well on the show. Boise State does start it off for us in more of week 1 stuff. Boise State against South Florida is the main one on Thursday. I don't think there's anything else of note. Steven, would you say? Main one's Thursday.
Thursday, no. Definitely on Friday. There's some Big Ten teams that play on Thursday, but mainly Friday is when the real things happen.
Yeah, Wisconsin plays, but that's not something of note. And then East Carolina does play. But Friday, the main ones, you have Kansas S plays again. They play Wagner, which we should know how that's going to go. Illinois, I do want to stop and talk about Illinois because I'm hearing big things coming out of there. What is so important or impactful this season with Illinois, and why are they getting so much hype that they can even make the college football playoffs?
They have a good defense, really good defense. Luke Altmaier, the quarterback, is there for, I think, like a third, fourth year. Brett Bielema, head coach. He's been there he's been around for a while in the Big Ten. He was at Wisconsin a while back. I don't know. They're just a sneaky team. They were decent last year. They were pretty solid last year, but I don't know. They're one of they could be Indiana this year and like win 10 games, I think. Let me actually look at their schedule, but I think they were their over under win total was maybe like 8.5 or so. So they should kind of blow right by that. Yeah, they don't play. They play Ohio State, but they got them a home mid-season. That looks like it's right before we play Ohio State. But that's the only they play, and then they play Indiana. The only 2 ranked teams on the schedule this year. So they have a very light schedule. They finished with really shitty schedule. They have this is really bad. They finished with at Washington, Rutgers at home, Maryland at home, at Wisconsin, Northwestern. Those teams all are going to be the bottom of the Big Ten. So that's they 9-10 games probably easily for them.
So that was that was the main thing that I wanted to talk about on that side. Other part is Penn State. So talk about your thoughts on this first game. I know you're going to bring it up on the show, but just say a little bit there. And then the other part is because it impacts us the weekend after, Texas, Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest game of the weekend, and one of the bigger games I can remember to start a season. I do want to say really quick, and Penn State should throttle Nevada. I think we're favored by 44 and a half right now, so we should beat them by 50. But it's number 1 versus number 3 in Columbus, Texas, Ohio State. Real quick, Lee Corso, College Game Day host. This would be his last College Game Day appearance. He's 90, and he's getting up there, obviously. So this is gonna be his last appearance on College Game Day, doing all that. It's weird that we always get emotionally attached to these sports figures. Like these things happen.
Yeah.
Like Sports Center anchors, like Stuart Scott when he passed away. That was tough, dude. That was tough for a lot of people, like especially our age, especially people our age who grew up with Stuart Scott. Lee Corso, same way, dude. Like not, the same attachment to whatever else, but he's been doing College Game Day like our entire life. And like, when you think of like college football of like our era, Lee Corso is always attached to that because of College Game Day. College Game Day is the best. Kirk Herbstreit. So, it's weird to get like that. Everyone's getting emotional about it, but like Lee Corso has been a part of College Game Day for what, 30 years? So
yeah, a long
shout out
time.
to Lee Corso, dude. I mean,
shout out.
Yeah, big shout out, dude. He's the OG. He's getting up there, but like he's one of those guys. Like this is what he lives for, dude. He loves people love college football. Like I love college football. No one loves college football more than Lee Corso.
No.
So
and doing it at that age too.
Yeah, still like that's it, man. That's all he's got. That's all he wants.
So that's the
quick shout out to Lee Corso.
Yeah, shout out.
Back to real quick what you're talking about. Texas, Ohio State. We will be there. We talked about last week. We'll be there next weekend. We said last week it's going to be the highest of highs or lowest of lows for Texas fans, which could benefit us or not hurt us. But I think obviously if they beat Ohio State in Columbus, be the number 2 team in the country, we'll be there. And it's gonna be party on because they're gonna fucking dominate San Jose State.
Hell yeah, you already know.
Facts.
Yeah, so that's the main thing that I wanted to discuss because Ohio State, Texas, Steven said it. I have a couple of coworkers that are big Ohio State fans. One of them is from that area too. One graduated from there. And I don't know why the big discussion, I don't know why they bring this up to me. They're like, Christian, why did they end up making it the noon game? You thought Fox was going to move up off of that game? I mean, it does suck, but do you think Fox was going to give up the opportunity to have one of these biggest games to throw it in a night slot or do something else? Hell no. Like they were going to make sure to get it's selfish. That's really how these networks have to end up being for it. But the next part is it does impact the rankings, which will allow Penn State, depending on how the outcome is, to move.
Look, whether it's at noon, 3:30, 8 o'clock, it doesn't matter. We're all still going to watch.
100%.
Right? Like, would it be great if it's a night game? Yeah, of course it would be. Columbus at night, awesome, great crowd, all that. We're still going to watch it. The game could be 8 o'clock in the morning. Still going to watch it. Does not matter.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning. Still going to watch it. But it's just the nostalgia of, this game is on a campus. I hate when they don't have them on campus, but this game's on the campus. It's in one of the better venues in college football. It's number 1 versus number 3. You want to see it at night. Just, there's something about a night game that you've been doing with me. Like something about a night game that's just like the level of energy is just different at night games, no matter what.
Yeah.
So that would be dope. But I mean, it's not like I'm not going to watch it because it's on Fox or at noon, like, come on, guys.
Yeah. So the other part, and we talk about this a lot, but when you look at the schedule for Texas, when you play in the SEC, it's a different level. Just rattling some of them off. Clearly, the Ohio State Texas game. If Texas loses that, a lot of Texas fans are going to have a lot of feelings just going for because I don't think they should have trouble against Florida, but in the off chance they do, you have Florida. That Oklahoma Texas game, it's a rivalry one. That's more so you never know how that one's going to go. Then looking down, they play Georgia in November, and then the last one that who knows how it's going to go. They play A&M. again, it's one of those big time things down there. They could pull it out, or it could be something that's close. Other part is, who the hell knows what's going to happen with Arch Manning? We
Right.
think that he's going to do well, but he really could just wet the bed this season. And then we're like, well, shit, it's just been the name that we're going off of.
Right.
These are top tier teams that he's playing now. He had a couple of starts last year, but it was Quinn Ewers in a lot of those big time moments.
Mm-hmm.
So now looking at how he's going to end up playing, that's their whole. After, I would say you'll know a lot against Ohio State. I don't really put too much stock in a San Jose State, UTEP, or Sam Houston. The next one you'll see is October 4th against the Gators. How well Manning's going to really do. Those two, and that's in Gainesville, so that's something else. You have both those games on the road. You'll know enough to how the rest of the season is going to go for them. Off of that, he'll have to read different defense. First off, better win September 6th, 13th, and 20th. If you don't win, if you even have a close game with one of those,
Right.
a lot of questions are going to happen. Other thing I want to bring up and swing it over to you, Drew Aller. What are your thoughts in terms of draft? Because they're starting to put him up there in like the top 10 in certain draft rankings. I don't know if it's because it's early or whatnot. Do you view him as someone that could go in the first round, or do you think it's just early people saying this with like 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think he could be the number one pick in the draft for sure.
Okay.
He has all the tools. 6'5", 235, 240. He can make every throw on the field. I understand like the need and the want for him to do it in big games, like throwing the pick against Notre Dame and the Orange Bowl, like bad throw.
Yeah,
I know. He hasn't done it against Ohio State, Michigan, the big time games. I get it. And that, like, a lot of the evaluation is based off of that, obviously, like what you do against the best opponents. But in terms of like the physical attributes and like what he can do with the ball and the throws that he can make, like he's had a ton of great moments, ton of great throws. Like he can make all the throws. I think what everyone wants to see is just him like beat Ohio State, beat Oregon, like win a national, like aside from winning a national title, yeah, and like or like win the Big Ten, like do it against Nevada, sure, great. Do it against FIU, whatever, but like do it against Ohio State, do it against Oregon at home, night game, big stage. Like, he doesn't have to go out and throw for 500 yards, but I feel like Drew doesn't have to be the reason why Penn State wins a national title, but like he's got to be that guy. Like if you look at a lot of like the previous national champions, like Will Howard, like not a great quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, but like he did what he needed to do when he needed to do it the most. You look at JJ McCarthy, same thing, not a great college quarterback, but like did what he needed to do against Penn State, against Ohio State, did what he needed to do. Fucking Stetson Bennett at Georgia, back-to-back national champs, was not a great college quarterback, had tons of talent around him, but again, did what he needed to do when he needed to do it. And like that's what Drew Aller needs to do. He doesn't need to put up 4,000 yards, doesn't need to win the Heisman. I want that for sure as a Penn State fan, but he just has to go out and make the throws when he needs to make them and make sure we win games and make sure he's not the reason we lose games.
That's the big thing.
That's the other thing. That's what's like, that's kind of what's not, that's not what's been the case, but like some of the games, yes. The Notre Dame game, yeah, we lost because he threw a bad throw, bad interception. Wasn't like a great play defensively, but like can't do that. He cannot be the reason we lose. So he doesn't have to be the reason we win, but again, would be great if that was the case. So yeah, I think Drew Aller has all the makings of a top 5 quarterback, coming out for sure. Due to Nussmeier down at LSU, Cade Klubnik at Clemson. I think he can have a great season in the Heisman. Who?
No, Cade Klubnik. That's just crazy because I've seen this whole ascension from in the beginning when it was, all right, who the hell is this kid that's down there, to he's one of the real deals, apparently.
He came in the same class as Drew Aller, both 5-star quarterbacks. Yep. They were like number 1, number 2, I think, in the ranking. So I've known about him for a long time now. Because of that. And then with the Clemson, obviously their previous quarterback run was pretty dope. So but yeah, he could have a big season. they're expecting big things from him. Nussmeier at LSU, same thing. Kid out of Ohio State now, Julian Sayin. I mean, he can have a monster season. You know what's crazy? Speaking of Ohio State, it really sucks, but they're going to have Jeremiah Smith next year as a junior, and then Chris Henry Jr. coming in as a freshman. I saw that. Two more things actually, real quick. That's going to be unfair. I am so glad we don't play them next year. That would be dope though, because it would be in-state college. But regardless, and then Penn State is a 5-star running back for 2027. His name is Keemon Spell. He's Penn State's next Heisman Trophy winner if he stays committed to Penn State. He's committed to Penn State, but we all know what that means in today's college football. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So he could flip. If he does, I wouldn't be surprised because it's still a long way to go. But he had 5 touchdowns over the weekend. Plays for this high school in Pittsburgh called McKeesport. Shout out to McKeesport, PA though.
Shout out.
He had 5 touchdowns, 293 yards rushing, and over 300 yards all purpose. He took the open kickoff for a touchdown, 98 yards. So yeah, he's Penn State's next Heisman Trophy winner if he comes to Penn State. He's 5'9", I think 5'10", 205, like a little mini Saquon Barkley. I'll send you his tape later, but yeah, got off topic on that one, but yeah, Drew Aller, he could be the number 1 pick in the draft. Go back to what you're talking about.
Okay, so that's the big thing I wanted to end up hearing from you on that side. The other part, I have to do it. I don't know how many people out there expect anything other than from me. We're going to go into the NFL. There's a bunch of stories we're going to talk about. First one, clearly, we're going to talk about is Taylor Swift, just for the clickbait. So Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Is that a nothing burger? Something? What does it really mean to you? Did you watch the podcast episode with them?
Do we have to talk about this? Okay, I'd rather talk about this than the WNBA, though.
See, there you go. So,
big facts.
Main reason why I brought this up.
Shout out to them. Congratulations.
Shout out.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that's all I needed to end up doing, getting it out there, because this will probably be snipped up into a short for us, and then it'll just say Taylor Swift. So thank you for anyone that watched it, just because we end up saying that. Yeah. The next part is Terry McLaurin. He got his 3-year, $96 million contract. First thing I want to say with this is people at work were saying, do you end up choosing differently in fantasy football because of this? Do you think that he's going to end up being there? Absolutely. There's 2 things that I told him, don't ever ask me this damn question on. Number 1, who's going to be the starting quarterback in Cleveland, which is going to be next on the list. I told everyone it was going to be the 3 quarterbacks, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and then Shedeur Sanders. Kenny Pickett was just a facade. It wasn't something that was going to be there. He was always going to be the let go or traded.
His name hasn't been mentioned since he got traded to.
That's what I'm saying. It just dropped off the face of the earth. Yeah. The other thing is they brought in Tyler Huntley. No matter what you want to say about the whole Shedeur thing, Tyler Huntley was never going to be on the roster either. They brought him in just for one reason and he left. But going back to this one, Terry McLaurin, he was always going to be there. It was never a question or a doubt. What they did bring up then is, have you seen the different wide receivers out of Ohio State and the money that they are getting?
Yeah.
And that's insane.
I mean, they're the best, and they got plenty more to come too.
Yeah, it's just a factory.
Like Emeka Egbuka is next in line as a rookie. Jeremiah Smith might be the guy, and Chris Henry Jr. They got this other dude at wideout, Carnell Tate. They got another guy behind him, Brian Ennis. Like Brian Hartline, it's just like that thing that happens, like certain positions, like Penn State's linebacker, tight ends usually they got a lot from Iowa. Running backs could be, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But that becomes a thing, and like wide receiver is just. It's been Ohio State for a long time now. Teddy Ginn, Santonio Holmes, sheesh. Like just like the last 5 years, he has some like the best receivers in the league. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith and Jigba is probably next. Again, Egbuka. Paid, right?
Yeah,
crazy. Good for them, dude. Sucks.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks.
I know. So other part, because I was talking to this guy at work who's a big Ohio State fan, and he was bringing up
what's his name?
Jeff. Or I
Huh?
brought him up last time. Jeff. We
Oh,
brought him
that
up before.
fucking guy. Man, Jeff,
Told
man.
you. Jeff,
Tell
yeah.
myself what's up.
I know. So he was bringing up my thoughts. So he's one of those fans of I don't watch anything in the off season. As soon as the first week happens, then I kind of tune in. So he asked me all the questions and stuff. And the first thing he was asking was about the quarterback because they have Julian staying there. And I said, honestly, if he does everything he needs to do, his numbers can be amazing because of Jeremiah Smith. And then also the next year because of Chris Henry Jr. and whoever else. All he has to do is not shit, but get the ball to them and make sure he has the perfect passes for them. If he does that, he's going to have nice passing yards. And then he'll also have a lot of passing touchdowns. And on top of that, if he just does what he's supposed to do, his stock will go up in the draft just because they'll end up saying, oh, wow, he had these receivers. So you know what? Let's see if he can do this again in the NFL. Sometimes it ends up happening. Hashtag Joe Burrow. Sometimes it doesn't end up happening. Hashtag look at the quarterback that was there last year for Ohio State.
Right.
We probably won't hear about him a lot. Or look at a lot of the Alabama quarterbacks. They don't always turn into what they should, but that'll happen. So that's the big thing on that side I wanted to bring up. I want your thoughts now on Spencer Rattler being the starting quarterback of the Saints.
I thought he was going to be way better than he is. Not in the league, but just overall. Anybody followed his recruitment? We've known about Spencer Rattler for a long time now.
High school, yeah.
Yeah, like a long time. 5-star quarterback coming out. Did pretty well for a hot second at Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner, and then went to South Carolina. He had some moments. He had some moments where I'm like, damn, there it is. But then it was like, damn, there it goes.
Yep, that's how it was.
Sucked. He was very hit or miss, like very hit or miss. When he hit, it was like, word, like he can sling it. Like good ball, but then most of the time it was like, damn, that sucks. Hate to see it.
There it goes.
So I mean, good for him though, right? I mean, but what were their other options? Let's be real.
Really have many.
Right.
One,
it was like
Carr
you
retired.
It was like you and me behind him.
Yeah, that's really what it was.
Like, all right, I guess.
Yeah. So other thing, and I said my thoughts earlier, so I want yours, is the Cleveland Browns situation.
Oh God. Do you really want me to talk about this?
You can talk about it anyway, or we could talk about the brother.
Okay, so yeah, we don't need to talk about that. So, has anyone ever thought just Shedeur Sanders just isn't good? Because that's what we really want to talk about, right? Like, has anyone just thought about he's just not that good? I mean, he was never a number one pick player. He was never. I mean, maybe when he eventually came to Colorado, or maybe after his first year at Jackson, like the mock drafts, like 3 years in advance, maybe had him up there because of his name. But once things got serious, he was never a top tier talent at quarterback, which is okay. He doesn't have to be. Like, he wasn't going to be his dad. He wasn't going to be the next big thing. Like, he benefited significantly from having Travis Hunter on his team. I mean, 100%. That is a generational player that you can give the ball to, or that that wins you games. Shedeur Sanders was not the reason why those teams are winning. It was Travis Hunter. Like, I know Shedeur Sanders had great numbers and he had some really good moments, but like he had good moments. Like, the top quarterbacks have great moments all the time, and he just he's just not that guy. And he played against shitty defenses and still it wasn't great. His numbers are, I don't want to say inflated when he was in college, but again, benefited from having Travis Hunter. Bad dog shit offensive line that screws him up too. But it wasn't going to be a good quarterback. It wasn't one of the top prospects. It wasn't a top quarterback prospect. And that's okay. And maybe the coaches saw something. They're like, yeah, he's just not picking it up. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's there's no, there's nothing to be a conspiracy theory. Maybe he just isn't good.
Yeah.
That's but it's not the end of the world. He can still, learn from Joe Flacco and do well in practice, kill it in fucking practice, dude. And maybe he gets a chance. Maybe Flacco goes down and gets a chance and he comes out over Dylan Gabriel. I don't know. But right now he's just not good. He's just not starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
There's only 32 of them. And if you're not one, that's okay, dude. I'm so tired of it.
I know
I'm so tired of it, dude. But someone had to draft him, right?
You're right.
Someone had to do it. I'm just tired of it because he's not a good quarterback. He's not good. And like, I don't need updates. I don't need weekly updates from the Browns. I don't. I don't care about the Browns enough to know what's going on. And I mean, dude, I hope to God, like, I don't know who the Browns play first, but I hope to God Joe Flacco throws for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. And like, it's like, great. Flacco is the guy. Instead of Flacco going like, who they play?
The Bengals.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he should light it up. He should throw for 600 yards against that team and 7 touchdowns.
Better.
Yeah. He better. All right. Because imagine if Flacco goes for like 9 for 21 for $175 and a touchdown and 3 picks. Like, they're going to be calling for Shador. I don't think that's going to happen because Flacco, I just don't see that happening.
He's a game manager. He's solid.
Yeah, he's going to do what he needs to do. I don't know what the expectations are for the Browns this year, but they're not to win the Super Bowl, right?
No.
They're just to not have the number 1 pick in the draft, probably. So, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just waiting for the season starts so we can just kind of, because they're just looking to fill time with this. And like,
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Whatever. So you haven't spent this much time on a player, like a 4th round pick in a long time. So I'm just
100%.
I hope it ends soon.
Yeah. So the next part I want to get into, because I know what you guys all really came here for, is the rankings that we're about to do. Before we end up getting into the rankings, I did have one of my fantasy drafts. I have 5 this year, and one of them is just the people in that league are not good, so I'm not really investing too much. Told them they can do it whatever time. I might just auto pick it, but that's my control team, essentially. But the one I did have, so was Tiana's league. We ended up doing that over the weekend. Shout out. And first pick in the draft, this person drafted Ja'Marr Chase. I had second, which for anyone that has not been second or third or fourth, those are one of the most stressful picking situations ever because you have everyone to choose from and you can either do really good with that pick or not. Number 1 was easy. That was probably the most guaranteed pick that was needed. Just go with Ja'Marr Chase. After that, it's tough. Because do you go with Saquon, who you absolutely should go with? Do you go with Bijan Robinson off of all the hype people are talking about? Or do you end up going with CD or Justin Jefferson? You don't know what you're going to get out of Justin Jefferson. You believe you know what you're going to get out of CD, but there's George Pickens there too. So which way is it going to go? So second pick, I end up going with Saquon Barkley. It was just the easy pick for me to end up going with. And then I turned back around because you had some people, I don't want to use certain choice words that I would for sure use with these people. Josh Allen went in the first round. That was the first red flag of how I knew this league was going to go. So I had to text Tiana on the side, like, there's no way we're doing quarterbacks that early. Second round, you already knew Lamar Jackson was off the board. So I said, all right, clearly I know how this draft is about to go. So second pick, I ended up going with Chase Brown. And then after that, I think I went with, Jalen Hurts. Because everyone wanted to go early with their stuff. So I turned it around, did Jalen Hurts. Didn't end up doing a trifecta and adding A.J. Brown, but a couple rounds later, I did go with Devontae Smith. But what I did in this draft, and Steven will be proud of me because my tight end, I said I'm going to go with Tyler Warren. I'm hoping that third time's a charm with these rookie tight ends. So I end up going there. The other part with that is I end up picking up James Conner later on because it was just an easy one to go with. And then I just did a shit ton of rookies. I ended up picking for my second wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, and then I ended up picking up Matthew Golden. That was another one I went with. I picked up Quinshon Judkins. Who the hell knows if he's going to play or not? But it was like my 12th or 13th round. So it wasn't something I even cared about, but that was one I did there. But yeah, I had probably 3 or 4 rookies, and I also picked up Rashee Rice. It's one of those years of it's a bunch of flyers. The ones I am confident in are Warren for sure is going to do something. Barkley's going to do something. And the reason why I picked up Jalen Hurts to go with it, you have Hurts and then you have Barkley. One of those two are going to get it at the goal line. If Barkley doesn't get it, Hurts is going to get it. If Hurts doesn't run it, they're going to throw it to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith or Dallas Goedert. So someone's going to get it in that whole regimen of what's happening on the Eagles offense. And this is all incumbent upon, do they end up doing as well as last year? If they don't do as well as last year, well, shit, this team is going to suck. But if they do as well as last year, we should be fine. But I'm saying all that to say we're going into the NFL running back rankings now for us. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Ready?
I hope so. Again, for anyone out there that doesn't know this, we were not super close when it came to certain wide receiver stuff. So it could either be similar to how I would say our tight ends were kind of close and our quarterbacks were simple. I really want to see how this is going to go for the running back. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think it's gonna go that way. So my honorable mentions, I got David Montgomery.
Ooh, okay.
I got Brees Hall.
Wow.
I got A-Chain. I got Ashton GT.
Okay. Solid.
Honorable mentions. Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, number 10, Jonathan Taylor for the Colts.
Yes. Okay.
Their quarterback situation is also dog shit.
Yep.
So
Jones
I would love
won.
to, I
Says
think
everything.
right. So I think they're still gonna try and like force the ball to someone like Tyler Warren, and then if Jonathan Taylor is healthy and the offensive line can hold up, then I think he could have a pretty solid season. Just not sure like where he's at, like what. I'm just not sure where he's at. So that's number 10. Number 9, I got Cook up in Buffalo.
James Cook. Okay.
Yeah, again, they don't need him to have a great season to be, to win a Super Bowl. But he always has. I feel like he always has a better season than you. You look back on it like, oh, that was a lot better season than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Just because now people talk about him. Number 8, Josh Jacobs in Green Bay.
Okay. Yeah.
Very solid running back. They're going to rely on him a ton, I think. The defenses in that division are very solid though. So he might have like good games, but like a good game in that division is going to be like, 120 yards total, like a touchdown or so. But I think he can have a pretty solid season.
Shout out to Jake.
Yeah, shout out. Number 7, okay, Derrick Henry. Number 7,
okay.
low. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I like he's got to start going downhill at some point, right?
He does.
He's got to start, and I think Lamar Jackson like continue to ascend, and I think his touches will go down a little bit. Number 6, I really hate doing this, but I'm going to do it anyways. I got Travion Henderson at number 6. I hate him obviously because he went to Ohio State. I just something about him. I just don't like him. But I think in that offense, with taking a little pressure off of Drake May, I think he could have a really dope season. And I think he could end up higher on this list than I have him right now. So Travion Henderson, because he's going to be run game and pass game too. Number 5, this is going to be a surprise. I'm going to bring it back at oldie but goodie, Kenneth Walker out in Seattle.
Wow.
I know.
Not expect that.
I know we have talked about I know we've talked about the wide receivers, Sam Darnold. I know we've talked about all of that, but we have not talked about Kenneth Walker. I think he's one of those guys, much like some the other big names that are in the pass game. One guy just mentioned Henderson. He could be involved in the pass game as well. Because especially if things, start to pick up with Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith-Njigba, defenses are gonna, try and take that away. So it's gonna leave some gaps in the middle, for guys like Kenneth Walker. So I don't know. For whatever reason, I've seen a couple interviews with some Seattle players, and they're hyping him up. So. I don't know. I picked him a couple years ago. You and I talked about him a bunch of times a few years ago when he first came into the league. Got hurt, so that's always iffy. So he's number 5. Speaking of hurt, number 4, I got Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
I think we're assuming that his Achilles hold in place for the entirety of the season, which doesn't seem likely, but you never know what's in his body. So if he's healthy and doing what Christian McCaffrey does, he's probably number 1 or number 2 on this list. But because he doesn't know, I'm giving him like the benefit of being like really great. So even if he's not 100% and like he's 75%, he's better than a lot of guys on this list. So I'll put him up there. Number 3.
Hey, Jake, I'm in favor of you. I'll talk about him in a little bit. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, facts. Facts. See, your boys, yeah, we're out there. Number 3, number 2, number 1, I think we'll have maybe not similar, probably similar. Number 2, 3, I got Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
I got Bijan. This is also one of those things where he could be down on this list because what if Michael Penix Jr. like what if man, I forgot his name already. Their tight end. Falcons.
Pitts.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts. There you go. What if he has a season that people have been wanting him to have?
He won't.
Like that increases him by a ton, and then that maybe decreases what Bijan Robinson can do. Now, Bijan Robinson obviously is going to be involved in the pass game. He's second year in the league. Yeah, he's probably going to go, probably going to go nuts. But Drake London as well. Michael Penix Jr. can sling the ball, and they are probably going to ask him to because he's 35 years old. So he doesn't have many games left. But so that could be an either or situation. Number 2, I got Jahmyr Gibbs. I think kind of goes without saying. I think kind of goes without saying. I can let you talk about him if you want to. And number 1, I think Saquon Barkley is the best player in the 100%. League right now. I think he's heading that direction, if not already there.
Yeah.
And he should probably be the MVP favorite as well. I know Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, but just like, again, this is all based on potential and what we think a player can do. That's it. That's what every single season. That's what Penn State season is based on. Potential of this team, this player, that player, whatever, right? Saquon Barkley, if he does what he did last year and then does it to a better extent, yeah, dude, he's looking at 2,600 yards and almost 30 touchdowns. He could have a record-breaking season for sure. So the offensive line is it's a year more with Barkley. Everyone gets used to it more, and the offense keeps changing and more ways to get him involved. And he's just, if he stays healthy, again, same thing. Stays healthy, he could have a record-breaking season. So fucking shout out to Saquon Barkley, dude. Shout out. I just need. All right. I need real quick. I need Micah Parsons to play so I can have the dream season where Penn State wins the national title, Barkley wins MVP or whatever. Those two win Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. Steelers, Eagles in the Super Bowl, and the Steelers walk away with a Lombardi Trophy. So just need that to happen. But anyway, proceed.
Yeah. Every time you say that, you know what I think about when we went to go watch the NFL draft at the restaurant, and you were like, "Watch what the Texans are gonna do." It was close, but I will make this a speed round for people because I know you want to hear the what you got that we have out there. For starters, honorable mention, comparing it to Stevens, I have Ashton Jeanty, Bucky Irving and Tampa, James Cook for the Bills, Omarion Hampton. That situation in Los Angeles is such a rare one. It can go in so many different directions. Omarion could be on the field real quick, or he could be chilling on second string for a minute. Number 10, if anyone has ever listened to this show or seen how I end up drafting, you already know where this is going. I'm going with Alvin Kamara. I'm going with Alvin Kamara because a lot of times people are choosing him late in a lot of fantasy football drafts, but also same reason Steven brought up everything about Spencer Rattler is the reason why I'm going with Alvin Kamara. You're going to trust the person in the backfield. He only had 950 rushing yards last year, but he did end up having 6 touchdowns, which does play an important part. The other thing I do want people to end up knowing is he had 68 receptions on 89 targets, and he had 543 receiving yards. So he is a dual threat in both ways. He can do the rushing and also the receiving. Number 9, and I don't really fault Steven for not having him on this list because if you look at how Steven's list is, you understand. Number 9, Chase Brown. The Bengals, same exact reason Steven just said that Joe Flacco should light it up is the exact reason why Chase Brown should light it up for the Bengals, because the Bengals defense is some shit. And that's all you need to know. I keep saying that the Bengals whole team is essentially the same as the Phoenix Suns in basketball the year that it was Steve Nash and them, 100%. I don't even need to get into the stats for them. Another year with Chase Brown should end up going well. Number 8, got to go with the other team in Los Angeles, and I'm going Kyren Williams. If all goes well with that team, they should be able to put up a lot of numbers on the offensive side. Kyron Williams did have essentially 1,300 rushing yards, and he had 14 touchdowns. That's really all I need to say in that category. He was a bell cow for them. Number 7, which was super close to Steven. So I got to say, shout out Josh Jacobs. I don't need to give any of the stats because Steven brought him up. Green Bay has a great system right there for Josh Jacobs to do it. I will say, a lot of people don't understand Josh Jacobs is in the perfect system for him to get a lot of yards. He did it last year, but there's so many other more flashy running backs. He's not really getting a lot of the credit that he's due. Number 6, I have JT, Mr. Jonathan Taylor. Again, quarterback situation, some shit. So you know what you're going to end up having to do. Just dump it off in the backfield. Number 5, run CMC. So I have Christian McCaffrey. I'm a little worried about that one because you don't know. Again, the Achilles, he can end up having a great season or a bad season. If you look at his track record, it's every other year that he's had a good season. This is the other year that he should end up having a good season because he was injured last year. How do I know this for a fact? Because I choose him every single year, and that's how it ends up happening. He gets injured one year, the next year it's amazing, and you end up having all the sports bettors thinking everything. Number 4, Bijan Robinson. Same exact reason that Steven brought up. Don't need to talk about that. You're probably wondering, all right, Steven, put somebody at number 7. Where's that guy for you? Well, it's here. Number 3, Derrick Henry. I don't know that year that it's going to be, that it's going to fall off the cliff, but what I can tell you is he had 16 touchdowns last year on damn near close to 2,000 rushing yards as well. He had 1921. Number 2, Jahmyr Gibbs. We don't really need to go into a lot of the numbers. You have Sonic and Knuckles over there. He had 1,400 rushing yards, and he also had 16 touchdowns. So that does say a lot. But then you're probably saying David Montgomery. Montgomery had 12 touchdowns just out the backfield. So it says a lot for both of them. And number 1, Saquon Barkley can get all the shine in this. He had 2,000 rushing yards. He had 13 rushing touchdowns, 33 receptions, and 2 touchdowns just from out the backfield. He's going to be a hot commodity no matter what it is in your fantasy football. He's going to compete with Jamar Chase for that number 1 pick as well. My only thing is, I really hope that there is no Madden curse. That's really the only thing I'm worried about for him, because anyone knows, any OG Madden fans know how it was for that stretch of time. If you were on the cover, you essentially just kissed your year goodbye at that point. But that's all I have. What you got, Steven?
Okay. You know me better than most. And we've known each other for what, like 10 years now.
Yeah.
So I got lucky with Mason being like a sports fanatic at 6. Anything sports related, he's down for. So yesterday, Sunday, we were out in the alley. We had some friends over and we were out in the alley. And that was the first time, like the first legitimate time that him and I played catch.
Really?
Like back and forth for he had maybe a high school size football, smaller. So like he could like hold it and then like throw it. And we were maybe like, I don't know, 10, 12 feet apart, but it was like 5 minutes of just like, tossing the rock back and forth. And he was like running little routes, all that kind of shit. So that was pretty cool. Again, obviously, you know me. Anyone who does know me knows that, him being a sports nut is pretty dope. All the homies love it too, which is great.
Yeah.
Like all the homies love it. Anyone who's around Mason, all the boys over, that are around him knows him, knows he's a sports guy. So they're always sticking around with him and, they're always tossing a rock with him or doing whatever. Also real quick. You know what Golden Tee is?
Yeah.
The golf game, the arcade game. So, this is how simple men are, and you'll appreciate this. A buddy of mine in the neighborhood, his name's Bill. Shout out to Bill.
Shout out
he
Bill.
redid his basement. I'll show you his basement after this. But he has a Golden Tee in his basement, and there was 4 of us over there. Now imagine one guy playing Golden Tee, and then 3 guys sitting behind him on bar stools for like 3 hours, just playing an arcade game. There's football on in the background. There's skee ball. There's a pinball machine going on. There's Pop-A-Shot in his basement. He's got everything. We just all huddled around the Golden Tee. There's strategy. Like Brooke's like, my wife was like, what'd you guys do? And I told her, she's like, what else you do? I was like, that's it, dude.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
then we started spitballing like golf names, NFL names, football, just you know, like the most like dude centric thing you can possibly do. So shout out to the homies, man.
Shout out.
Shout
So
out.
for all the 34 people that are listening right now, this has nothing to do with sports that I'm going to bring up. What I'm going to end up saying right now is Cracker Barrel decided to go back to their original logo, and they elected not to keep the same logo they had. I'm not going to go into the in-depth part of everything. You can look it up, but they're going back to the original logo.
Yes.
They said they
Shout out
received
to
a lot of
Cracker Barrel,
backlash.
dude.
Yeah, number one, there was no reason for you to end up changing in the first place. I promise you, there were no issues. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is we'll talk about it probably next week, and then the week after that, and then however long it's on our algorithm. This goddamn 40U thing. It's the wildest shit in the world.
Yeah.
It's the wildest thing in the world. Half the things that you end up seeing. We brought it up last week. It's going to be brought up again next week because I really don't understand how these people are going to their games, talking shit, getting smacked. I saw someone tear their ACL. I saw another person running in the middle of the field. Yes, you see him running in the middle of the field. He gets smacked. There is no way. And then you can't take, what are you going to do? Take sick time the next day? Yeah, I was playing in a 40U league.
Bro, it's on like a Tuesday. They got to go to work at like, they probably get work like the whole day shift. They got like bust like a 12-hour shift. They got to be in there like 6 a.m. the next morning with a broken rib and a busted knee.
Yeah, so that's what you're going to do.
And insurance isn't paying for that.
No, hell no. What? And then you're telling me, okay, cool. So that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to go to work and end up saying, yeah, I was playing in my 40U league and I tore my Achilles, or I end up like hurting my knee. There's no way. The first thing, it would be different if you're playing in your 40U soccer league or 40U flag football. You are playing 40U tackle football going full speed. And then you're going to say, I can't come to work because I have a concussion. There is no way in hell that that's what we're doing. But that's all I got. Next week is the precursor to our trip. We have 44 people at the end of this show, and I really appreciate that. Till next time, hook 'em. We out.